Oh, where do we start? Where do we start? Let's start with this. Where do we start? Let's start with this. Oh, what does it say here? Why Star Trek Prodigy was canceled and what happens next. So it's canceled by Paramount Plus before the streamer's merger with Showtime. So I did not know about that. Here's what it looks like for season two. So here's the whole crew. That was the DVD cover you just saw. So Prodigy was unexpectedly canceled by Paramount Plus, but there may be yet hope for the beloved animated series. On Friday, the 23rd of June, Paramount Plus announced the cancellation of four shows: Prodigy, Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies, I have no idea what that is, The Game, and Queen of the Universe. A Paramount Plus spokesperson said that the series have completed their runs on Paramount Plus and will not be returning to the service. We want to extend our thanks to the tremendously talented cast, passionate work. I wish them best in their future endeavors. What a shitty, typical thing to say. Created by Kevin and Dan Hageman, Star Trek Prodigy was the first Star Trek animated show aimed at younger viewers, and it could take immense pride in introducing a new generation to Star Trek and its lofty ideals. Prodigy also featured the return of Kate Mulgrew to Star Trek, reprising the iconic Admiral Catherine Janeway as well as the hologram of Janeway. Prodigy's talented voice cast includes Brett Gray, Ella Purnell, Riley Alzaraki, I think she was the Rock Talk, Angus Imrie, along with D. Bradley Baker, who was like that blob creature, Jason Martsukas, Jimmy Simpson, Jamila Jamil, John Noble. Yeah, John Noble was the villain. I love that whole thing. We'll get more into this. Prodigy was a joint venture of CBS Studios and Nickelodeon Studios. And season one aired on Nick after it streamed on Paramount Plus. Prodigy season two was announced in 2022 and is currently in post production even after Paramount Plus canceled the show. There was a season two, and pardon me for this weird stand, but so it says why it was canceled. So it's canceled with the merger with Showtime, which will happen at the end of June. So you're going to get Paramount Plus's merger with Showtime. I don't know what that's going to mean for future projects. To add insult to injury, Prodigy and the other canceled series will be removed from Paramount Plus entirely in the coming days. Oh, okay. Season 2 will still complete its post-production, but the new episodes will not stream on Paramount Plus. CBS Studios plans to shop it around, hopefully find a new streaming home for both seasons 1 and 2, in spite of being a joint production with Nickelodeon. Star Trek Prodigy Season 2 will not air on Nickelodeon either. That sucks. On Twitter, the producers confirmed the news. Here's the tweet. Star Trek has taught my brother and me to strive for a better future, while news of Star Trek Prodigy not returning to Paramount Plus is disappointing. Executive producer Aaron J. Walt also tweeted to clarify that Prodigy will complete production of season 2. Obviously, there's not much more I can say. Everyone in the cast and crew loves Prodigy deeply. I have noticed some misleading headlines, so all I could do is point to the particular part of this press release. We're completing season 2 on schedule and seeking a new home. Let's see what else. Is there more? According to the Variety, the decision to cancel Prodigy was data driven, quote unquote. Though Paramount did not share any specific data that highlighted why these shows are being canceled and removed. The move, however, reflects the deleterious changes across the streaming industry, as services like Max, Netflix, Disney Plus, and Hulu have deleted existing shows and content, kind of like Runaways. I watched some of that. They deleted that on Disney Plus. And content as cost-cutting measures and for tax write-offs, kind of like Batgirl movie. Months ago, Paramount Plus purged other titles from its service such as Coyote, The Real World, and The Twilight Zone. So what happens next? There is Admiral Janeway. And I tweeted to Kate Mulgrew. I said, here's hoping we get season 2 going here. The best case scenario is that the show will find a new streaming platform to which they call home, which will stream both seasons 1 and 2. If this comes to fruition, Prodigy will become the first Star Trek series not streamlined on Paramount Plus, since the television franchise was resurrected in 2017 by Discovery, or CBS All Access, which was also canceled by Paramount Plus and February, and is waiting to stream its 5th and final season in 2024. But is Discovery going to get? Is Paramount Plus going to keep Discovery? Is that how it's going to work? Unfortunately, the potential worst case scenario is Prodigy is unable to find a new streaming home, and season 2 is completed but is never seen. Along with season 1, season 2 would simply be gone. Nope, I don't think so, because I just showed you all the DVD, but more to come here. Meanwhile, there is no timetable for when Prodigy could find a new streaming home, and the fact that other services are cutting content across the board makes it questionable whether Star Trek Prodigy will be picked up by another season or another streamer. But hope remains nonetheless. And got some pictures of weird girls. Let's see. Will there be a season 3? Although Prodigy will still complete post-production on season 2, as it awaits being shot by another streaming service, it's unclear as to, at this juncture, whether Prodigy season 3 can happen. It's finished its Paramount Plus, but it's possible that wherever the animated series could land may take them up at the cost of production of Prodigy season 3. Somebody will have to do it. For now, with so much uncertainty and disappointment, the hope is that Star Trek Prodigy can find a new streaming home so that fans can at least see season 2 as well as relive the adventures of season 1. That's about it. Let me give my take. So this is what you're looking at here is the DVD collection for the first 10 episodes. It says here episodes 1 to 10. I believe 11 to 20 will be released on DVD as well. There'll be no shock to that. Now, this pisses me off because Nickelodeon could get this, but maybe Nickelodeon can't afford it. I don't know what's going on with that. You know, Nickelodeon has Garfield and Ninja Turtles and all that stuff. So there's a number of ways they could do this. They could put it on YouTube, pay to watch. They could put it on DVD and Blu-ray, video on demand somehow. They could put it on Netflix. Batman's on Netflix, the Cape Crusader. They could do anything. They should do anything. They will not. I don't know what's going on with that. That is disappointing. Now, this morning I watched, now Paramount Plus is still Paramount Plus. I don't know what they're going to do. If it's still, I don't think it's going to be Showtime anymore. I think Paramount Plus is acquiring it and it's still Paramount Plus. I think that's what's happening. So I was watching Strange New Worlds episode 1 of season 2. I liked the Klingons. I liked what is it? Sung, the granddaughter of Khan, or great granddaughter, drinking with the Klingons. The plot felt very tired. To be fair, some of the episodes on Prodigy kind of seemed like whatever, but they were building towards something. Now, when we think of this kind of cartoon, we can think of Masters of the Universe, but I also think of Star Wars Clone Wars. And even before that, I had always envisioned, ever since Star Trek Enterprise was canceled after season 4, before J.J. Abrams' movies, I always wondered, could they just go to the distant future with like techno vibe music? I mean, like I always thought of it like this. Like it would have taken place in the distant future. You would hear this kind of music, this techno vibe music, right? And instead of orchestra music, you would hear the distant future music, right? I remember the final chapter of Star Trek Federation, written by the Reeves couple, the husband and wife, the Stevens, whatever, about how Captain Kirk and Picard met for the first time before the events of Generations. And there was a final chapter in which there was a future Enterprise, and every member of the crew was a different, one was a Ferengi, one was a Borg, one was a Klingon, one was a Romulan, a Gorn. Like every member of the Starship Enterprise from the distant future was a different species. There were like very little humans. Everybody was so integrated so well. And, you know, the red shirts would be robots. I had this vision in my head that what if, you know, the Star Trek, I called it Star Trek 3000 in my head because it was like a Saturday morning cartoon, right? And it would explain what the Enterprise J from Archer's future was like. The Enterprise J would have been this we would have heard this music, and we would have seen what the crew looked like. I always pictured like the captain would be in a black leather suit, part Beta Z, part Vulcan, so she can't be mind read and stuff. Yeah, I mean, just that's what I thought about. I mean, in my head in 2005, when I was in my late 20s, I always envisioned Star Trek 3000 to be this futuristic CGI cartoon. And I told people about that. Like, what if they did this? What if they did this thing after Enterprise? Like, what if they go to the distant future where you have this techno vibe music and CGI? But Clone Wars kind of filled that void. And Clone Wars filled the void for 6 years. There were plans to have the Son talk to the Sith on Morabon, no longer Korriban, because they rewrote things from the EU. There was supposed to be other things going on. They gave away episodes of the Clone Wars for free before Disney go went and like backpedaled and like ceased and desisted all those episodes that Filoni gave to the fans as a thank you. So the Clone Wars lasted as long as it could, but I don't think the Clone Wars could have lasted 6 seasons without corporate interference. George Lucas was in charge. The last thing he significantly did before Rick McCallum was trying to shop Underworld, before he was trying to shop around Star Wars detours, before the Disney acquire. That was the last big significant thing George Lucas did was do the Clone Wars through Dave Filoni. And now it's more of like the last greatest thing before Disney took everything. And you can say Rebels is good, but I mean Rebels was sort of like what Star Trek Prodigy might be like. They're on a ship all the time, going from thing to thing. And that lasted 4 seasons, lucky for that. And we finally, I mean, all of us, I mean, ever since the end of Enterprise, it took us 16 years to get to that point of here's this cool CGI animated Star Trek. I got bored at watching Ethan Peck as Spock. I got bored at the new crew. I don't care about Christine Chapel. I don't care about Benga, the new doctor who doesn't care about the Hippocratic Oath, smashing people around. I just thought I didn't care about any of it. You know what I mean? Like I just did not care about Strange New Worlds. I don't care about Discovery. I don't care about Lower Decks. I didn't even care about Picard. Okay, but I'll say that season 3 was probably the best of those 3 seasons. I It's like this, okay? Anybody who's watched those extras, do you remember when George Lucas was doing the scene where Padme is talking to Senator Palpatine? He wasn't the Chancellor yet in episode 1. And there's this part where Rick McCallum and George Lucas were walking side by side. And he says, "Oh, Ian's great. Ian's great." Yeah, of course. He's talking about Ian McDiarmid as the future Emperor Palpatine. Well, Ian's always great, George says. But I had no idea what was going to happen with her. And he was talking about Natalie Portman because Natalie Portman was just a rookie. She was just starting out, adding on to the Star Wars lore on top of the Dark Horse comics that was done years ago. So this was adding to the lore, but in the distant future. Yes, you have Janeway and you have Chakotay, but from that point on, it was the legacy of the Borg and the Klingons and the Romulans and Ferengi, and just seeing essence of bits and pieces, remnants of what Star Trek is from the 22nd century. They even brought back the Xindi from Star Trek Enterprise. I saw a little bit of that. I didn't get to see much of it, and I really, really want to see the rest of season 1 and season 2. This is sad. I am upset. I think Eric Reloaded said it best. Like they find ways to shit people out of their jobs. Now, what happened with Lex Luthor? I was really impressed. I think Michael Kudwig as Lex Luthor with a beard, fantastic. If they're going to make Superman and Lois work for season 4, I am going to tune in for the season finale for season 3. No more Sarah drama. No more Christine Beppo drama or sexual tension. Just let's keep it simple, right? Go to Metropolis. Okay, I'm okay with that. What's happening with Superman and Lois, but with the Batgirl movie getting axed and other things for tax write-off, this is shit. Okay, This is the one show where all the characters are new, brand new characters, brand new actors. You know, Janeway is the Obi-Wan sort of Spock character that everybody relies on. And there was some memorabilia stuff with Spock and the holodeck and other characters. I think, was it Gates McFadden lent her voice? And there was just a little bit of everybody in there. And it was great how they did it. The showrunners really, really pulled their weight. They really did their best. And if you missed Prodigy, you can always get it on demand. I don't know where the rest of that season is, but you can get it on DVD at least. I was so happy to get this on DVD. I didn't care if I didn't have enough money for food. I just bought this because I really enjoyed it. And you could say, well, how could this show be evolve beyond kids? And I'm thinking, well, if these showrunners understood Dave Filoni or ever worked with Dave Filoni, they would have evolved these characters and the drama and everything would have evolved to being more for adults. You would have seen the adult type drama that you would see in Strange New Worlds, that you would see in Star Trek Picard, that you would have seen in the last few years, the 90s Star Trek. It would have gotten to that, it would have evolved to that level. All they had to do was be given another chance to write a couple of more seasons. Because if you're 7 or 8 and you watch season 1, by the time you get to season 5 or 6, you're ready to start high school. You're ready to start looking at girls or boys or other. And that would have been your sort of your graduation from Star Trek Prodigy, that you're just moving on to other things in school. You got peer pressure to worry about, being good at sports, impressing the opposite sex. That's what you got to worry about. But some people will hang on. If you can make more adult themes in Star Trek Prodigy, then by season 4 or 5, people have been really impressed. And now it's all gone because we got to buy up other things. And I'm like, you got this almost done. Season 2 is done. Batgirl was done. What the fuck? And I did like the ending to the Flash movie, but, you know, knowing that Michael Keaton was not returning, that's really sad. Well, if you like this video, give a like. If you want to see Prodigy come back, I do. I just say put it on YouTube. Well, I'll pay to watch it. If they get it on DVD, I'll buy that too. I only really buy DVDs of movies I really like. I can't do it with this hand. There it is with this hand. Is that good enough for you?